brought to you by Bethel School of Technology. Learn more at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman. Are there some sinister tactics behind the recent push to get people back to the office? You know, we should poll people before I get into these things. You know what I mean? It'd be kind of fun to have but you know, we're not going to do that. Point is, I'll bet you if we polled people on that question, I'm going to say it's 80-20. I'm going to say 80% of people say, yep, there's something sinister, and most people don't even know what the word sinister means. To be completely honest with you, it's a fun word, but I understand. By the way, I don't try to use these words, folks. I grew up without a TV till I was 12, so if you don't like some of these 50-cent words, it's not my fault. It's my parents' fault. I read a lot of books when I was a kid, so I have a pretty big vocabulary. Sinister means evil. So is there something evil? Is there some ulterior motive behind the return to office mandate? And we've seen that across the board. By the way, in case you're wondering, we are back to pre-pandemic levels of remote workers. So we're talking about 100% remote. I'm not talking about hybrid, because I think hybrid is still the dominant model. So even when we see headlines like this and CEOs talk about hybrid is still the predominant model. It's just that companies are saying you're not going to be 100% remote. All right, so we're back to pre-pandemic levels. So it's shrunk back, and a lot of people don't like it. So now here comes Bamboo HR, and they've got a study that found that hiring managers are openly admitting to the tune of 20% of HR professionals said they hope for some voluntary turnover among workers after implementing the return to office plan. In other words, they were like, well, we're hoping that we get some disgruntled folks quitting. Why? Because the HR folks are the ones that have to sit down and have the awful "you're fired" conversation. So it stands to reason HR folks, nobody, let's be honest. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. You know, we should find the actual HR person out there that really enjoys firing. Like, you talk to them and they go, I got to tell you, I look forward to it. I really do. I enjoy it. It's kind of fun. It's very therapeutic. I enjoy it. In fact, the more tears, the more excitement I get. I mean, I just enjoy delivering bad news, because you guys are laughing in the booth. I'll guarantee you there's an HR person out there that goes, you know, I feel like I have the spiritual gift of delivering bad news. But I would say that's rare, and most people don't. So it stands to reason that they would say, you know, look, gee whiz, I sure hope, because we got some people we need to lay off. Sure would be nice. Hey, you know what? Why don't we actually, let's go all in. Let's do a return to office policy, and maybe some folks will quit. Well, they admitted to this. So it begs the question, how much of the return to office mandates are because they believe in getting people to the office, or is they think, well, you know what? Let's just throw a rock at a pack of dogs, and the ones that come out barking are the ones we hit, and they'll quit. You know, and then go running away, you know? And that's basically 1 in 5 said, we kind of hoped that would happen. 32% of managers admitted to tracking employees' work habits as a primary reason for their office mandates. So again, this is nannyship. I hate this. But managers admitted to the tune of 32% said, we track our employees' habits. We're tracking their keystrokes or whatever the crap they're doing when they were remote, and we don't like it. So, hey, you got to get back in. I want to get eyes on you. It's like my mom and dad. I'm having shivers right now. It's like this kind of crap my mom and dad said to me. Hey, get back in. I got to keep my eyes on you. It's like, come on, Dad. I just want to climb a frickin' tree, you know? And that's what it feels like. So that's what they're doing. 42% of employees said they're coming back to the office. You ready for this? Only to be seen by their bosses. So this is where the rubber meets the road. %42 have now come back and they went, I don't talk to my boss or interact with my boss any more now than I did when I was at home in my sweatpants. So why am I in the office again? Or I'm not collaborating anymore. I'm not collaborating at all. I don't talk to my coworkers much. We're not working together on projects any differently than we did when I was at home. So why am I here again? So this is the fatal flaw with this. Listen, I'm a guy that believes in the individuality of a culture, the individuality of a leadership philosophy, the style of leadership. So I'm not a fan of one size fits all. I would never espouse that. I think that's nonsense. But this idea of return to work just because my stress level is less as the leader because you're in the building and you've not given people a viable reason for why you're making them come back. Yes, I understand you may prefer them to be there. I actually get that. That would be my preference as well. However, if they were operating and functioning over here at home in a remote setting, and you say you got to come back in and there's no viable difference at all, they don't notice a difference because you're not doing anything different, then you're going to have people who resent you. And so now, look what you've created. So have a freaking reason beyond listen, I'm very guilty of this. I have 3 teenagers now, so I don't deal with this as much anymore. I can't remember the last time I said it. It wasn't very long ago, but it was the first time in a long time because I had sat in on a parenting session years ago when the kids were little. And the person leading the seminar was like, how many parents said, get to the point where your kids ask you why, and you just say, because I told you so, right? And that's the tired parent, the parent who's got 0 patience, and you just go, because I said so. Why, Dad? Because I said so, right? It's a very powerful feeling. It's very powerful. It's wonderful. But it's terrible parenting. And it's terrible leadership. And when you are telling people to return to the office and nothing changes, then essentially the reason they walk away with that they're coming back in to do this thing they don't want to do is because you said so. Instead of detailing out what's really going on, why it's changing, how it's different, why it's better, where it takes us, that's what you got to do. So, is this a conspiracy? I think maybe it is. I think leaders figured out, well, this is the last gate that'll send some people to the hills. Let's call it in and see what happens. Launch your tech career today at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.